One of the great things about Google is the ability to look more deeply into these facts and pieces of information that we've been finding. So now you've got a lot of skills. I want to teach you one more skill that will allow you to verify whether or not something is true. In this case, we're looking for quotes. Now, quotes are typically very hard to verify who they originally came from, where they went, and so on. Often it's because a single person has repeated something so many times they get the attribution rather than the person who originally said it. The other thing is that sometimes quotes are attributed to people that didn't really say them. So we're going to try to use our books corpus to dig more deeply into a common quotation. As you see here, the phrase "elementary, my dear Watson" is often thought to have been said by Sherlock Holmes somewhere in the works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Let's use the books corpus to figure out what's going on. What I could do is go to the books selector here under More tab, and I click on Books, and this takes us to the books user interface. This is the way we get into this. And I'm going to search for Sherlock Holmes Complete. And the reason I'm doing that is to find a book that has all of the novels, all of the short stories, and so on. And you can see that the very first hit here is the Complete Sherlock Holmes. So I'm going to click on that. Now notice that it says Preview. I'll come back to that in a second. We click on that. We're now going to go into the book, and now we can start to search within the book using what's effectively the Control F for the entire book over here on the left-hand side. That's what you're seeing right here. So I want to search for Elementary, my dear Watson. Now, if I do it like that, what we'll find is we get My Dear Watson broken off from the Elementary. And that's a good question. Why is it breaking it up? What happened to the Elementary? So let's break apart this query now into pieces. Elementary, like that. And you can see now we actually have about 6 different hits for the word elementary. It's kind of a surprise. We think of that as a common phrase in Sherlock Holmes, but it turns out it's only used a small number of times. So if we actually go through and double quote this, Elementary, my dear Watson, it's again going to start to give you, in this case, a smaller number of results because it's trying to maximize the match of the query. So one of the things that comes up here is this is, as we said, a preview of the whole book. So let's go back and change the query here to say, my dear, like that. And you'll see there's a lot of different instances of the phrase, my dear, in the text. What I can do is, for example, click on this, and that will take me to the whole page. And since this is a preview of the book, not all of the pages may be visible. So as I scroll down here we're getting lucky and we're able to see all of the different pages here. But when we go farther into the book, some pages will be omitted from the preview version. Important to note, you can search the whole text, but you may not be able to see the entire text. That's the difference between full view and a preview. But if you look on the far right-hand side, just as we saw in the Chrome Control F, Command F command earlier, you can see all the different hits for the phrase, my dear, throughout the entire corpus of the whole text. So you could see what's happened here is we've used a selection mechanism, a filter mechanism, in this case, going to the books collection as a way of looking through the entire works about Sherlock Holmes for a particular phrase. And we found it wasn't there. This isn't typically uncommon when you're trying to do quotation searches like this. You have to really think outside the box and use all the tools available to you to try to hone in on who said what and when.